Okay, I think you already learned this topic when you were in grade 7. So in here we are just going to run off the numbers and also into the correct significant figures or correct into how many decimal place or maybe correct to the nearest 10 or correct to the nearest 100. It depends on what question is it. Why do we have to run off? Because this is the example. Sometimes when in the news it will be hard if we mention the number in detail, like we have to tell there are 74,836 something. There are too many numbers that we need to mention. It will be better if we just mention it's around 75,000, 75,000, so it will be easier to tell and something like that. That's why we do need to learn the rounding off. Okay, so in here, before we do the rounding off, we are going to multiplying and dividing the numbers by 0.1 or 0.01. Oh wait, James here. James, no, he is not connect to audio, I think. James, no.
I chat him and then he say sorry, wrong class.
Oh, okay
No.
then. Okay then, thank you for checking. Okay, now let us continue for multiplying and dividing the numbers by 0.1 and 0.01 in here. You can, you still remember the power of 10, so 10 to the power of 1 it will be 10, 10 to the power of 2 will be 100, 10 to the power of 3 will be 1000. So later the number of the power will be remaining, how many zeros is it on the result. So like if later if we multiply yeah, so in here we have 10 to the power of 6. If we have to mention it in a number, so because this is 10 to the power of 6, later the result will be having 6 zeros. So we write it as 1 with the 6 zeros, so we will read it as 1 million as the words. And then now we have to write 100,000 as the power of 10. There are 5 zeros, so that's why the answer will be 10 to the power of 5, because there are 5 zeros. Is there anyone having any question, or maybe I talk too fast or anything so far?
No, teacher.
No? Okay. If you think I talk too fast or my voice not audible, please kindly remind me later on. So now we are going to do multiplication with the decimal number. I think in the previous chapter I already told you it will be easier if you change the decimal into a fraction. So there will be no silly mistake on counting. This is 8 times 0.1. 0.1 means 1 per 10, because there is a one digit after decimal place, so it means the number one will be having one zeros, one digit. This is the zero, only one. If this is 0.01, there are two digit after decimal, so it means there are two zeros on it. So later if we have multiply the number by 0.1, we can change the 0.1 into 1 per 10. So it will be 8 times 1 per 10, or we can say that 8 is divided by 10. And then now if multiplying the number by 0.01, so we can change the 0.01 into 1 per 100. So it will be 8 times 100. After that, we can just read it as 8 divided by 100. And then dividing the numbers by 0.1, we can change it into a decimal also, 8 divided by 0 per 10. So if division, we can change it into a multiplication, become 8 times 10 per 1. 10 per 1, it will be equals to 10. So we can say that 8 divided by 0.1 is the same as 8 times by 10. And then if there is a number divide by 0.01, so we can change it into a fraction, become 8 divided by 100. So 8 divided by 100, it's the same thing as 8 times 100. So the conclusion, when we multiply the number by 0.1, it is also the same thing when we divide the number by 10. If we multiply the number by 0.01, it's the same as we divide the number by 100. When we divide the number by 0.1, it is the same as we multiply the number by 10. If we divide the number by 0.01, it is the same thing as we multiply the number by 100. Is there anyone having any question or get confused so far?
No, teacher.
For sure, yeah, no question. Okay. If it is not necessary, please kindly do not text anything through the chat box. Text to the chat box when you have any question or you have maybe you want to try to answer only, because like it will be distracting your friends and also it will be distracting me. So please do not type anything that is not necessary through the chat box. Okay, I will continue to the work example in here. We have 32 multiplied by 0.1. When we multiply the number by 0.1, it is the same as we divide the number by 10. So that's why the answer will be 3.2. Now if we multiply the number by 0.01, it is the same thing as we divide the number by 100. So it will be 0.042. And then if we divide the number by 0.1, it is the same as we multiply the number by 10. So we will read it as 6 times 10, which is equals to 60. And then for the other one, we have 4.156. We divide it by 0.01. It is the same as we do 4.156 multiplied by 100. So the answer will be 415.6. From the work example, is there anyone who get confused? Is there anyone who get confused? If multiply with the decimal, it will be easy. So you can check how many decimal place are there. Like the question A, there is a 1 decimal place. So that's why the final answer will be 1 decimal place. In the question B, at the 4.2, there is a 1 decimal place. And then at 0.01, there are 2 decimal place. So it means in total, there will be 3 decimal places. That's why it will be 0.042. Okay. If we divide the number, we can by a decimal, we can change it into a whole number, so it will be easier for you to do. Okay, so please stop texting anything that is not necessary through the chat box. Stop fighting. Please stop texting. Okay. Is there anyone having any question?
No, teacher.
Right is the one who write is not Jovan, teacher.
Who is
But that is what? What do you mean?
It says NO. Nicholas Orion, then you blame Jovan.
No, it does.
there are Nicholas Orion who texts James, and then there is a Jovan in here. I can see Jovan is texting something, and then there is a Ken, there is Kenneth Messi. So many.
The one who send the symbols is Nicholas.
No?
No, it's Jovan. It's written as Jovan.
NO. Try to scroll up. It says NO. Nicholas Orion.
In me it's I swear to you.
Jovan to everyone.
Oh my god. Stop fighting. Stop fighting. Okay, just stop fighting.
No, it's gone. It's Nicholas.
Okay.
No, it's Jovan. Clearly.
No, it's yeah. I can see there are Jovan, there are Nicholas, Kenneth Messi who are typing anything through the chat box. I'm not asking anything yet, so please do not text anything through the chat box. It will be distracting your friends also. Yeah. And oh yeah, I can no. I don't know. Okay then. I don't know. You can change like you can change your name in a WebEx thing. Oh my god. Stop fighting. No.
Change name.
Oh my god.
I don't know how to change name. My father taught me the way to change name is to like go into the system where like your account. But I don't know.
Okay. Okay, there are some people who are texting in the chat box, so yeah, non-stop texting too much. Just do just chat anything when you have any question or you want to try to answer my question. Do not chat anything that is not necessary through the chat box. It will be distracting your friends and also it will be distracting me because I can see that the chat box is keep on changing and anything. Okay then. Okay, now let us continue the discussion. Let us discuss the exercise 3.1 on your textbook, page 32 or 30, oh, sorry, page 33. Okay, now we have 10 to the power of 3. 10 to the power of 3, it will be equals to how many? Hello? Yeah, it will be equals to 1000 if it is in a numbers. In a word, it will be 1000. Okay. Stop texting. Stop texting. Just chat anything through that is related to the class. Yeah, it's not Nicholas Orion who spamming. I can see it from there. So please kindly stop chatting. Just stop chatting. Stop fighting. Okay, stop. Okay, now let us move to the question B. For the question B, what number is it? 10 to the power of 5. How many it will be? Yeah, it will be 100,000. Okay. Now if the question C, how many it will be? Yeah, there will be 7 zeros on it. So if we mention it in a words, what will it be? Yeah, it will be 10 million. Thank you. Now for the question D, 10 to the power of 1. So it will be only equals to 10, which is, yeah, we can write it as 10. Thank you. Now, is there anyone having any question before I move to the question 2?
No, teacher.
No, okay. For the question 2, 100, it will be 10 to the power of how many? Yeah, it will be 10 to the power of 2. Okay. For the question B, 10 million, it will be 10 to the power of how many?
7.
Yeah, there are 7 zeros. Yes?
4, 7,
Four.
11 is 10 times.
Uh-huh. Yeah, 10 to the power of 4.
Plus
The last one is 10 to the power of?
10.
Okay. Is there anyone having any questions so far? Is there anyone having any questions so far? No? Okay. Can I move to the next question or is there anyone who are still want to copy the answer?
No.
Because if I go to the next slide, I cannot go back to the previous slide. I mean like all the annotation will be gone. So yeah, no one want to, all of you already done copying? Done? Okay.
Or
I will move to the question 3. I will move to the question 3. For the question 3, we already have some question. We have some numbers that we need to multiply. So now we have 62 times 0.1. What is the result? How many it will be? Yeah, it will be 6.2.
2.
And then for the question B, 50 times 0.1. So it will be 5. 50 divided by 10 will be 5. Now for the question C, 12.5. Okay. For the question E, what number it will be? 0.32. Okay. For the question E, okay, 0.37. Good job. For the question F, 6. Okay. For the question G, okay, 7.5. Thank you. For the question H, 0.04. Is there anyone who get confused so far or maybe need more explanation for the question 3? No? Okay. If you have no question, I will move to the question 4. Work out this number 7 divided by 0.1. Divide the number by 0.1 means we multiply the number by 10. So it will be 70. And then for the question B, how many it will be? 45. Okay, thank you. For the question C, okay, 522. Good job. And then for the question E, how many it will be? It will be 6.7. Okay. For the question E, okay, correct, 200. Question F, is there anyone already done? Okay, 850. Good job. For the question G,
32.
32. Okay. For the question H,
722.5.
okay. Is there anyone who get confused so far, or maybe I go too fast? You are still confused or anything?
I think you're going too fast. Make us have a little time to.
Oh, okay then. Okay then. If you think I talk too fast, maybe I'll give you like 5 minutes. You can try to finish the question 5 until 8, or maybe you can finish it until 10 or any number. I just give you like 5 minutes to do. Later after 5 minutes, we are going to continue the discussion. Okay.
Okay.
Come on, if we divide the number by 0.1 is the same as we multiply the number by how many? Yeah, it is the same as when we multiply the number by 10. So later the final answer it will be equals to 6. Oops, sorry. Yeah, like this. So now if we have to use the inverse function, we will go from the answer. The answer is 6. So we'll do 6 divided by 10. The answer will be equals to 0.6. Is there anyone who get confused or still do not understand? It's okay to ask me. I'm letting you to type any to the chat box as long as it is related to the class. So I'm not before I ask you to not do not text anything to the chat box. It doesn't mean when I have any question you cannot answer to the chat box. Please kindly try to answer so I can check if my explanation is already clear or is there anything that is confusing. I'm reading the chat box so I can check if anyone can answer or maybe some of you can answer or get difficulties. Yeah. So for the question in here, let me re-explain again. For the question 5, we already have the example in here how Jack answer his task. So in here, he has things that he needs to do 23 times 0.1. When we multiply the number by the decimal, we can change it into a division. Because this is one decimal place, so it means there is only one zero. Multiply, we can change it into a division. So when we multiply by 0.1, it is the same as we divide the number by 10. Later, if we divide the number by 0.01, two decimal place. So it means we can multiply the number by 100 because there are two zeros at 100. So it will be easier for us to calculate. In here he make mistake because 8.3 times 100 it will be only 830, not 8300. That's why in here we need to use how check try to answer the question, because in here we have to check your answer by using inverse operation. Inverse operation is the thing in that he tried to check it. There is a mark with tick, so it means his calculation is already correct. If there is a mark cross, it means his calculation were wrong. 8.3 times 100 will not be 8,300, but it will be only 830. So now this is the same thing that you need to do. When we multiply the number by 0.1, it is the same as when we when we divide the number by 10. So in here 18 times 0.1, I can write it as 18 divided by 10. The answer will be 1.8. Because we have to check by using inverse fraction, this is a division. Opposite of division, we have to do a multiplication. So now we check the answer with the number that we used to divide. So 1.8 we multiplied by 10. The answer is 18. It's coming back to the original question. So it means the answer that we get in the question A, this is already correct. And then now we can go to the question B. 23.6 times 0.01. When we multiply with the decimal, we can change it into a division. So it will be 23.6 divided by 100. If we divide the number by 100, usually you will do like this. Wait. Because there are two zeros, so it means the decimal place will go from twice. 1, 2. So now the 0 will be before 2. That's why the answer will be 0.236. That's why in here the answer is 0.236. Now we have to check it using inverse operation. So we do 0.236. We multiply it by 100. The answer is 23.6. It's already same as the question. So it means the answer that we get already correct. Now we go to the question C. We divide the number by a decimal. It means we can do times to the number. So 0 points, because this is a one decimal place, so it means will be 10 become 10. 0.6 times 10, the answer will be equals to 6. So now for checking using inverse function, yeah, we do 6 divided by 10, the answer is 0.6. Already same as the question, so it means the answer is already correct. Now let us continue to the question D, or is there anyone who are still confused?
No, teacher.
No? Okay. If no one's have no confusion, let us move to the question D. If we have 4.5, oops,
Well,
I don't know. Wait.
But Changi becomes center. Why is that?
Please do not try to be a presenter or anything. It will be like changing everything.
lol.
Hmm. Okay, so all my annotation are gone. I cannot go back to the previous annotation. Oh, yeah, it's gone. I cannot go back to the previous annotation. Okay then. Okay, now let us continue to the question D then. If we cannot go back to the previous annotation, let us move to the question D. We have 4.5 divided by 0.01. So it's the same as we multiply the 4.5 with what number, yeah? Hello, 4.5 we need to multiply it by 100. So now the answer, it will be how many? 4.5 times 100. It will be 450. So later for checking using inverse function, we do 450 divided by 100. The answer, it will be equals to 4.5 still. It's already go back to the original one. So it means our answer we get 450 is already correct. Is there anyone having any questions so far? Or
No,
my
teacher.
explanation is confusing still? No? Okay. For sure, yeah, no question. If you have no question, now let us move to the question 6. Now we have a number in here. We have to put what sign that we have to write in here, multiplication or division on each box. Now we have 6.7. I do something with 0.1. The answer will be 67. Now you can check from 6.7 into 67, the number is getting bigger. If getting bigger, it means we have to multiply or we have to divide. Hello?
Divide.
Yeah, we
Divide.
have to divide it by 0.1, because when we divide by 0.1, it is the same thing as we multiply 6.7 with 10. This is I use this symbol for division. Yeah, I have no division symbol in my keyboard. Okay, so for the question B, what operation do I have to use? Is it a multiplication or is it a division? Yeah, it will be multiplication because we has more decimal place on it. Now for the question C, We have to do multiplication because we have more decimal place. Now for the question E, we have to do multiplication or division. Yes, we will do multiplication because if more decimal place, it means the number we already multiply with any decimal place. Now for the question E, we will use a division or multiplication. From 0.23 become 2.3 last decimal place, so it means we will use a division because when we divide the number with a decimal place is the same as we multiply the number with 10 because it's 0.1, so we will multiply the number by 10. For the question F, we will use a division or multiplication. Yeah, we will use a division. Thank you for those who keep answering through the chat box. Okay, is there anyone having any question for the question 6? No? Okay, please let me know whenever you have any question. Okay, if you're not saying anything, so I think none of you get confused. Let us move to the question 7. Which of 0.1 or 0.01 that goes to these boxes? So now from 26 into 0.26, there are two decimal place. From no decimal place into two decimal place, so we pick the one that having two decimal place. The one that having a two decimal place is the 0.01. Now for the question 3, it will be 0.1 because 3.4 into 34 we need to multiply it by 10. So it means it will be the same thing as we divide the number by 0.1. For the question C, how many? We can check there are two decimal places from the question, and then the answer there are 4 decimal places, so it means there are 2 decimal places in the difference, so it means we will take the 0.01. For the question D, 7, I have to divide by how many to get 70? Yeah, from 7 into 70 I have to multiply it by 10, or I can divide it by 0.1. For the question E, from 8.99 into 0.899, we can check how many decimal places are there. At the question E, there are 2 decimal places, but the answer there are 3 decimal places. From 2 into 3, the difference only 1. That's why the answer it will be 0.1. And then for the question F, from 52 into 520, we need to divide it by how many? 0.1. Is there anyone who get confused so far? Or anything? No? Okay. If nothing is confusing, I think that's all for today's class. Tomorrow is a holiday, right? Yeah, tomorrow I think. No, yeah, tomorrow is holiday, I think. So I will give you a homework. Please kindly do the workbook in the page 17, question 1 until question 10. Because later in the end of the chapter, we will going to discuss all the question also. So please kindly do the question 1 until question 10 at the workbook and submit it to the Google Classroom. I think that's all for today's class. Good morning and thank you, students.
Okay, thank you.
Bye-bye.